Good morning, my brothers and sisters. I hope whoever's watching this video is having a blessed day. It seems like it's going to be really humid and muggy out there, so stay hydrated, and if you can, just stay indoors and stay cool. But anyway, I am showing today a custom wired cape that I purchased from an eBay seller last week and I received in the mail yesterday. So I can put on my figure, my Man of Steel BvS Henry Cavill Superman by Zack Snyder. Such a great custom cape. The pictures on eBay did not do the cape justice. I was like, what? It didn't look like I had a wide span, but yes, the cape has a really, really wide span and very long. The eBay seller's name is Batgirl something something something, but I'm going to put the seller in my description so that way if anyone is interested in removing the plastic clunky cape that came with the figure, which he's a Target exclusive gold label. You could search for the seller and purchase one for yourself. Really, really nice, and it feels quality. What I also liked was that the cape came with little sticky, like a sticky tape. I think that if you remove the tape, there was some kind of glue. You still had to use a little bit of crazy glue, but not by much. But it was so helpful. Great. I bought from that seller before, so I should not be as shocked that the cape was really made nicely. But still, the pictures did not do the cape justice. So now I could stack them up with the other live action Supermans that I have. Don't fall on me, Henry. Where is... Here we go. I just can't believe that Christopher Reeve is still the tallest Superman figure. And I'm not disappointed. I'm happy about that. So he's the shortest, and I think he's about the same height. Let me see. Let me move this guy out of the way. So now I actually love the Man of Steel figure. Looks really nice. Why is he toppling over? Oh, no, he's not. It's just me. I'm being a klutz. Yeah, Christopher is still taller than the Henry Cavill Man of Steel figure. It'll be nice if we can get a Tyler Hoechlin Superman, George Reeves Superman, Brandon Routh Superman, and dare I say Dean Cain. Oh, that guy. It's just sad that the older we get, you would think that we would be a little more wiser and say wiser things, but I guess in this day and age, well, I shouldn't say that. It's just people in Hollywood. But now, this figure actually stands out. I still prefer these S symbols compared to the newer symbol. It looks good on the Kingdom Come Superman, but I probably would have went a little more traditional S Shield, but every director wants to have his little own stamp on his film, so I understand that. Let me take these figures out of the way. I love you, Christopher Reeve. But yeah, now this figure pops. I never had a problem with this His Superman outfit, never had a problem with it. I just don't like the dark colors. That's the only main issue. There was no need for them to go that dark. And to be fair, that started out in Superman Returns. The colors were like really dark, and I'm like, I don't know why. Not a bad likeness to Henry Cavill, though. He tried. He used the same face sculpt for his Witcher figure. Yeah, it feels really soft. Wow. So I'm gonna put the eBay seller's username. So if anyone's interested, you can pick one up for your Superman. With that said, I've been noticing a weird. I'm getting a bunch of videos in my recommended, and I don't like that. But it's because they're feeding into the algorithm that I'm, like action figures and like superhero stuff, and I'm getting a lot of where there's YouTube influencers pushing this narrative that Man of Steel box office beat the new Superman 2025 box office. And the problem with a lot of these influencers is that they're never 100% truthful, or they don't dissect on why a movie flops. They just give their one reason or two, and it's never the full picture. So I'm gonna do the best that I can. Man of Steel, when his movie was released in theaters, what was it, 2013, 2012? He opened up in the U.S. at 116 million domestically opening weekend. Also, he had no competition. The newer movie opened up at 122 to 125 mil domestically opening weekend. That film, the newer film by David Cornsweet, has an uphill battle because not only the Jurassic World Rebirth, which is already at 600 mil globally, came out a week before the new Superman film. This weekend, we have the Fantastic Four film movie coming out. We also have to factor in that Lilo and Stitch, which is already at $1 billion globally by Disney, also came out in the same month span. So you have a bunch of movies coming out at the same time the new David Cornsweet Superman film has been released. So to compare the Man of Steel film, which had no competition, to the newer one is very unfair. I'm not telling you which movie to like or to hate. You like whatever movie you like. I did like Man of Steel, although I had some issues with it, but I did like it. I didn't mind Henry Cavill as Superman, but compared to David Cornsweet, who's more approachable, more charismatic, charming, compared to Henry Cavill, you need your superhero characters to seem approachable to people. But that was my only issue. And another thing too that they never bring up, streaming services. There's a lot of streaming services out, to rent. Paramount Plus, Netflix, Peacock, which I have Peacock, I have Paramount Plus, HBO Max, AMC Shutter. There's another one that I'm missing. I think I'm missing. Oh, Amazon. Whoop. See, even he had to agree. That's why he toppled over. That was just too much information. I'm sorry, Henry. Sorry, Superman. Plus Amazon and MGM. Then you have free streaming services like Tubi and Plex. There's just so many ways to watch entertainment for people to go into the movie theaters and plop $20 a ticket or even 10. So if you're a mom or dad who's taking your kids to the movies, um you're looking to pay at least close to or over $100. Can you imagine doing that 3 to 4 times a month? I'm not gonna lie, I was half expecting for the either Fantastic Four film or Superman to move its schedule. And me and my friend had a bet. He says that he didn't think they were gonna move any of the films. I thought they would at least move Superman because the Superman and Lois series that aired on the CW for 4 years just ended this January. And you can watch that series on HBO Max. So the need or the urgency to go into to watch the thing. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. My bad. I'm gonna keep filming. Um, to keep the urgency to sorry about that, guys. The urgency to watch this new movie, it's not there. And I'm not saying that the movie's bad. I'm not saying that the movie's good. 5 of my friends who did watch the film loved it. So I'm going by them. I'm not going by influencers. And I'm still going to watch it when it comes out on HBO Max. I might even purchase it on 4K. Once I watch the movie on Max, and if I love it, I'll get it. Um, so these influencers who are hell bent and saying that the new movie box office is not good, they're not being fair. They're not being transparent. They have their reasons on why, whether they're Zack Snyder fans or that they truly love the Man of Steel. But you have to be truthful because, like with anything, you start losing credibility. So that box office versus not good. It's not a good comparison. It's not fair. You're not being truthful in the differences between the Man of Steel that came out over 10 years ago compared to the new Superman film. And again, you could like whatever film you like. That's not what I'm getting at. But you have to be truthful. As for me, my days of going to the movie theaters are over. My guy took his son, which to see Superman, and they both loved it. He was asking me to go, but I'm so glad I didn't. That's just way too much money to spend. He spent over $80 for him and his son to watch Superman. $80, just him and his son. That's way too much money. And he also took him to see Jurassic World Rebirth. So that's a lot of money to go to theaters per month. We're talking about 80 plus 80, that's 160. I keep telling him no. I love him to pieces, but for me, in my mind, it's a waste of money. See, like right now, I can watch Superman and Lois. I haven't. I'm not too crazy for the actress who played Lois. I heard that people love her. I watched Grimm. I wasn't a huge fan of hers, even on Grimm. So when I saw her being the new Lois, I was like, I don't hate her. I'm just like, I don't know. There's something about her that, but yeah, I'm just saying that, if you're going to make a comparison, you got to be truthful. Also, there is a thing which I'm going to bring up as well before I shut this thing off. Overstaying your welcome. When you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, the fans or the audience will start to lose interest. So what I'm getting with that is this. Have you ever watched a show that's been on for so long, say 10 years, and you start to see the cracks when you give it a second watch, where the show starts losing steam? Be it the TV show Friends that ran for 10 seasons, The Big Bang Theory, or you will have your favorite seasons of a show where some seasons were great and some seasons weren't good, but you'll watch it anyway. But you can see yourself which ones were better, or even some episodes were funnier compared to others. I see that with I Love Lucy. I love the first 3 seasons. Hilarious. The seasons were so good, but they weren't as funny as the first 3. Knots Landing, the spinoff to Dallas. I'm not sure if you guys know what those shows are. They were nighttime soaps. They were all the rage in the 80s. Dallas being the first one, coming out in 1978. That show lasted 13 seasons. The creator David Jacobs, when he did Dallas, his initial show that he wanted to do was Knots Landing, not Dallas. When he proposed Knots Landing to CBS, they were like, no, we wanted a show about rich people and it has to be more tawdry, more steamy, and all this other stuff. So he came up with Dallas, although he wanted Knots Landing. Dallas became a huge hit for many years on CBS. Once he got his foot in the door with Dallas becoming a hit, he then decided to sell his idea of Knots Landing to CBS. And they gave him the go-ahead because Dallas was such a hit. Knots Landing was different from Dallas in the sense that there were regular people. A guy who owned a mechanic shop, the stay-at-home mom, I think there were 2 of them. There was a guy who worked at a law firm who was struggling financially and who becomes upset with his wife when she decided to go back to work to help him pay the bills because they were struggling. So it was like sort of like everyday regular people problems. I loved the first 4 seasons. I really did. It was for me, it was new and fresh because I just started watching it again recently on Amazon when it was for free. Now you have to purchase the episodes. That show ran for 14 seasons. And I started to see the cracks of the quality of the show dipping in season 5. And as it kept progressing, they were trying to keep it going, but I still preferred the first 4 seasons of Knots Landing. When it got to season 11, dear Lord, was it a struggle for me to finish. It was just terrible. The writing, not there. Now, mind you, that show came out in 1979 and went on until it got, till it went off the air in 1993. So I was like, oh my Lord, it was terrible. I don't know what other words to use. Compared to the other seasons that I felt like they crafted it with care and it was just great. I loved it. Lisa Hartman was on that show. The way they wrote the stories towards the end there felt like high school. So in my mind, that show should have ended in season 10, Knots Landing, after Donna Mills. My brother had a huge crush on Donna Mills, and he was so young. He was watching it with me because he loved Donna Mills. She's still gorgeous at the age of 81. Dear Lord. But when she left, because watching some interviews with her now, she said that she saw the writing on the wall and the dipping of the quality, and she wanted off the show in season 10. She was introduced in season 2, and it was that actress who actually brought the ratings up on Knots Landing. The same thing with Dynasty. Dynasty Season 1 was okay, but when they added Joan Collins to the cast, that's when the ratings just took off. Female characters, powerful characters, awesome characters, bringing the ratings of a show up. And we don't hear that often. We don't give enough credit when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, there's a when a franchise overstays its welcome, you can see the cracks and the dip and the quality just not being there because the creativity is gone. And that's what happened with Disney. They kept dipping into their franchise. Same thing with Star Wars. That franchise is now over 50 years old. Like Star Trek, you can't recapture what you did once beautifully the first time and expect to keep doing that over and over and over again. Plus, you had the regular TV, the CW superheroes, Disney Plus superheroes, Star Wars, Disney Plus, same thing. Everywhere you looked, there was a franchise from the movies on TV. And you can't do that. You start killing the quality. But yep, I know people don't like being lectured to, but I don't think I was trying to, lecture. Just saying that if you're gonna do a video, so this is to the major influencers out there. If you're gonna do a video, your bias will show if you're not being truthful. Again, Man of Steel was good. I did not really care too much for BvS. And I didn't hate Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. It was just way too dark. It was too hopeless, too dire. And when I think of Wonder Woman and Superman, I don't think of them as being emo characters. But that's just me. Superman and Lois, I think, did a great job in balancing that out. You can do a little dark on a TV show, but not in a movie. When it comes to these heroes. I mean, I say that as someone who watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Love that show. But hated the last 2 seasons. Another example of sometimes a show should end when the quality is still there. But anyway, my people, I'm sorry for going on and breaking your eardrum about this. But I'm going to put the seller in the description below. Great seller, very trusted. Love the way the seller packages the capes. But Eric, my brother, the Silent Collector, Sayer, and Leonard, I'm not sure if you continue watching videos, but shout out to you too. Anyway, but you guys are amazing. The Silent Collector, again, thank you so much for that little hot water trick. It worked like a charm. Love watching your videos. Same thing for Eric. You guys are great. And I love how you guys do not bring negativity to any of your videos. I did that just now. I just don't like the lying when someone's using their power and influence to the masses, lie like that. It just bothers me. And I'll probably make a video on why I don't like that. And it's in reference to my gastric bypass that I had years ago. I'm not sure if I brought that up before, but I'll probably do a video soon talking about that. But anyway, guys, please be safe out there. Spend time with your family and friends. A support system is extremely important. Very, very important. I can't tell you how important it is. Had a bit of a scare yesterday thinking that one of my, I'm going to say friend, because he is a friend, passed. He gave me a good scare. He didn't. I cursed him out, though. I'll make a video about that during the week. But anyway, I went on long enough. Please be safe out there. And stay hydrated. Peace.